What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a game day edition. Morning Scone presented by Brock. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, where Brock Rock and Line coming up Saturday, October the 30th. And Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. All right. Already knocked out Eagle 98.1 game day this morning, previewing LSU and Florida. Tigers and the Gators. That is just very clearly a subplot to today, as Ed Orgeron's future front and center, really kind of what everybody's talking about. Could this be the last game for Coach O? In the meantime, see if LSU can do the deed, pull the upset like they did a year ago down in Gainesville, and probably when nobody thought they had a chance against the Gators, went down to Gainesville and won it. So, shall see. Let's see. Kickoff about an hour and 15 minutes away. So, let's see what y'all got. We'll say some good mornings here. LSU 0399, Scott Fields, Roger Dodger, TMK. What's up? Good morning. Jeremy Weiss, feel like I have a dentist appointment at 11. That's pretty good. That's when it's not fun, man. When football season feels like a chore, that's no good. Trivia Carter, Drake Disher, Merrick Mathur, morning. Like button smashed. Nice opening on Game Day Live. Thank you, Merrick. I appreciate that. So, yeah, we always open up Eagle Game Day. I do an opening salvo, so kind of encapsulating the day, the state of the season, the program, all that sort of stuff. So, if you're on Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. YouTube, smash that like button. Thank you. Truax, what's up? Jeff McKiffin, Ryan LaRussa. What's up, Ryan LaRussa from GMFS Mortgage? Shout out to my guy, Ryan LaRussa. Hook you up. Home buy, refi, construction loans. They got GMFS Mortgage. Charlie Gale, Joe Bryant Hanno, Brian Ashcraft. How was the facial? It was good, man. It was amazing, actually, the hydrofacial. So if those noticing, I shaved because I went to the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Had a hydrofacial yesterday, which is basically like a water vacuum. It hydrates your face and like vacuums all the crap out of your pores and your skin and dead skin. It's crazy. So, yeah. Really good. Hey, Dad. Good morning. Scott Santangelo. Good morning. Reagan Lee, where can we park for cheap and walk to the stadium? Reagan, I think you can park for free, like hayfield lots, and there's spots around campus you can park for free. And LSU did put on their website some of the free lots. So LSUsports.net, you can see the free lots. Oh, you can park by Pluckers on Nicholson there. Get some wings at Pluckers, walk to the stadium. About a half mile. Jared Sanders, LSU Kentucky to win parlay. 20 gets you 1,000. Long odds, man. Not many people thinking LSU's got a shot today. Well, Kentucky, too. I mean, LSU's just an 11-point underdog. Maybe it's 12 now, but Kentucky's like 22.5. Jeremy Kling, good morning. Brandon Atchison, heard from a trusted source they had the best walkthrough of the season yesterday. Yes, we have reached that point where it's all about the punchline. Mimi's watching. Good morning, Mimi. Mimi's House of Pain. Michael Hall, good morning. Stephen Fry, good morning. Alex Robaleski, I know you get this question all the time. How short is O's leash? I guess it kind of depends who you ask, Alex. Listen, I gave you all a timeline last week where Monday after the Auburn game, I was told they're not moving on from Orgeron during the season. He was done, but they weren't going to make it during the season. Midweek last week, Coach O show, the prank call, it got pretty toxic, and it kind of led me to believe that they were planning to make a move. What's pretty clear to me is that the new president, William Tate, has definitely thrust himself into this discussion, decision, conversation, all of it. So it's not just Scott Woodward making a decision. You've got William Tate in the mix. I'm 100% confident saying that he is having his say in all of this. And so it's a bit of a wild card. I mentioned this on Eagle Game Day. I'll say it here. One of the big reasons, obviously, that they haven't been willing to move on as of yet is they're not confident in any interim coach option. When Scott Woodward was the coach at Washington, Tyrone Willingham had a winless season, as you might recall. After week 7, which would be this week, they were 0-7, and they announced that Tyrone Willingham would not be back, but finished the season. And I believe that is a very real possibility because I think internally LSU's brass, be it Woodward, Tate, etc., have not agreed on a process. And I know it has at least been discussed as a possibility that they make an announcement that Ed Orgeron will not return, but that he would finish the season. So I know that's at least a possibility. Now, if you're asking the question from Alex was Orgeron's leash. I mean, it's over. I mean, he's not returning next year. I'm 100% confident saying that Ed Orgeron will not be back next season. Like, I am 100% confident. It's just a matter of when you do it. Do you fire him after this game? He takes a walk. Do you announce that he won't return and you let him coach the rest of the season? Do you wait to the rest of the season? Do you wait to the bye week? I mean, all those are the questions people are asking right now. And I do believe there's at least, there is conversation around announcing that he won't be back, but allowing him to finish the season. Keith Rosenbach, as a lifetime LSU fan, I desperately want LSU to win. I can't deny there's part of me that doesn't want Coach O to have a chance in another year. Doesn't mean I want them to lose. Wait, there's a lot of negatives in there. Hold on. There's part of me that doesn't want Coach O to have a chance in another year. Oh, I see what you're saying. So, Keith, definitively, Ed Orgeron will not be back next year. I can say that definitively. And he knows he's not coming back next year. It's over. It's just a matter of how they do it. Zach Lee, good morning. Couldn't sell our tickets going to the game from Memphis for our dad's 50th. Okay. Hey, man. I have a buddy who has 5 tickets on the 10-yard line, 20 rows up, and couldn't give them away this week. Gray Schuler, what's up? Bozier in the house. There you go. David Robinson, good morning. Manny Trancoso, Brian Jones. Appreciate that with Game Point. You got it, Brian. Hope it all worked out for you, man. Aaron Fontaine, morning, Scone, fellow Scone heads. Proud to announce that we'll be watching today's game with one of the newest members of Tiger Nation. Our baby boy was born earlier in this week. Congratulations, Aaron. That's awesome, man. Hope you and the family are doing wonderfully, and congrats on your new arrival, man. Great news. Don Lee Jolibois, good morning. Nick Torino, what's up? Good morning from H-Town. That a boy. That a baby. Nick, I understand the better of the Torinas had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to Coach Beth Torina. Hey, Drew.
No.
Hi, Drew. Hey, come see.
No.
Come see.
No.
Come see. Here you go. Here you go. Jeremy Wiley, no more beard throwing me off. Haven't followed you long, so I'm used to just seeing the beard. It'll be back. It'll probably take me 2 days to regrow it. Trell Hatch, Michael Hall. I'm so torn. Want my Tigers to win. Hope a win doesn't guarantee Edo into the year. Everyone, I'm telling you right now, definitively, Ed Orgeron will not return in 2022. He will not be back next year. No matter what happens the rest of the season. He is gone, fired, done. It is over. Are we clear? David Furr, morning Matt, calls O gets canned after the Ole Miss game, use the body to get things together. I understand that, but I'm telling you, they don't have a good interim coach, which is why there is at least the discussion around letting O announcing that he won't return, but letting him finish the season. Blake Oob, what's up? Andrew Brister, Craig Dugas, morning ball, boot up. One day closer to firing, one day closer to basketball season. Brian and Sarah Thomas, good morning. The Calico Bears got a big win Thursday, and senior Prince Edwards was among the usual stars to record touchdown rushes and catches. Go Tigers. Awesome, 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 awesome. Congrats to Prince Edwards and the Bears. Best team in the state, bro. It ain't close. Rolling people. Rolling people. Luke O'Brien, good morning. Ed needs to go, but behind our team today. Absolutely. Beautiful day, man. Are you kidding me? We got up this morning around 5 a.m., showered, went outside. Had to go do Eagle game day from 7 to 9 this morning, and it's a gorgeous day. Not a cloud in the sky. It is sunny and beautiful and blue and cool and awesome. Awesome day. Blake Oob, good morning. Larry Freeman, if that happens, who would be the interim? If they do fire Ed Orgeron, then Mickey Joseph would be the interim head coach. I am telling you, though, like, you at least have to understand that there is a possibility that they announce he's fired or announce he won't return, but he finishes the season. Scotty Mack, what's up, man? Akeem Williams, Travis Roy, finally in on GameCoin. How long before I'm wheels up to Tahiti? Thanks for your help go through the process. You got it, man. Absolutely. David Furr, in your opinion, is the new president involving himself in the process a good thing, or should he let Woodward cook? David, I believe you hire people to do their jobs. Now, understand Scott Woodward was in place before President Tate was. I wish he would just let Scott Woodward do his job. Yeah, Scott's very good and very competent and capable. And I think Tate inserting himself into this process has slowed the process. It's added an unnecessary and sometimes uncomfortable variable into it. It'd be funny if Florida has a shoe moment in the game this morning. Buddy Bond, what's up? Huge LSU fan taking Florida laying the points. I'm not betting. I never bet LSU games. Aaron Fontaine, what's up? Oh, we talked to Aaron already. Aaron's new daddy. Drew's getting too big to show daddy. Show some love, I know. Let's see. Update on the new coach speculation. I am there. I just mentioned two names to you with respect to people at the top, and Scott Woodward and William Tate. And I will tell you definitively that one of them has James Franklin as the first, second, and third choices on his list. I mean, like, Franklin or bust type thing. Open the windows, enjoy the game. Kerry Hughes, James Franklin numero uno. Yep. James Franklin is numero uno. Robert Scott, wife and daughter at the game to see our son in the band. Judging from her picture, she just texted. I believe they're the only ones in the state. Well, keep in mind, you're still an hour away from kickoff. So, and it's an early game. So, like, when I was leaving downtown to come home, I passed the Dalrymple exit, and it was backed up all the way to Acadian. So, it's just going to be a late arriving crowd. People aren't showing up to campus to tailgate and get there early. They're just showing up for kickoff at 11. Jeremy Brinkmeyer, any chance we can hire Barry Odom away from Arkansas to be our DC next year? Jeremy, LSU tried this past year. They inquired, and he was not interested. And I don't know if that was because he didn't want to work for Ed Orgeron, maybe. Job security type deal where Fo's on the hot seat, and meanwhile Pittman is stable. I mean, that makes some sense. Brian and Andy Pinton, good morning from Blacksburg, VA. Happy belated 1300th episode. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that, man. Ryan Dixon Rivers, Breed Love. Got my 18 on, did my part. Go Tigers. C-Lab, last game for Orgeron. Again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if LSU loses today. If tomorrow they announce that Ed is fired and Mickey Joseph is the interim. Or if they announce Ed won't return as head coach, but will finish the season. Let's see. Trivia Carter. How long till the game gets out of hand? I mean, defense played well for a half last week. Kept them in it. It was 14-0 at half, and then it was just boom, 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 body blows from Kentucky. Probably similar today. Travis Laurent, good morning. Possibly O fired at halftime. Don't think that's going to happen. Gulf South. Do you like early games with early whiskey and wines, or do you like late games? So Gulf South, I don't like waking up early and having to be at the studio early to do pregame and all that stuff. But the early kickoff and finishing whiskey and wine at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and having my evening, I prefer that. Like Eric and I are gonna have a date night tonight, which I very much need. I need to just disengage for a bit. So yeah, I do like this. Mimi needs to give O a visit. Lee Ballius, what's up? Brian, Matt Washington's fan base isn't like ours. Brian, it doesn't really matter because it's more of a how a leader procedurally handles things. So that's why I gave you the example of how Woodward handled a similar situation in Seattle with Scott Woodward or with Tyron Willingham. And then at Texas A&M, they let someone finish out the season. So anyway. Let's see, Tuco Mello and Daddy TV. Matt, in your personal opinion, if we got Lane, how do you think he would do here? I think, considering who the last two coaches are that won national championships, I think Lane Kiffin would do just fine here. Joe Del Monaco, can't think of a worse idea than keeping him around. We ain't freaking Washington. I'm with you, Joe, but again, I'll reiterate, there's a lot at play, including, number one, you don't have a no-doubt interim head coach option. And it provides you somewhat of the cover to formally begin your search if you announce now, and potentially keep a recruiting class together, etc. Hire Edo for interim head coach. That's kind of be what he is. Don Cluot. What's up, man? Love the radio shows. Thank you, Don. Appreciate that. Gulf South, where did Tate guy come from? He seems like a tool and doesn't fit at LSU. He was at the University of South Carolina, but he's been, as a student and as an administrator, all over the country. Let's see. Phil Smith, I'll take the tickets right now. I don't know if they're still available, and I guess they are, but. Good morning, Matt. You look like Jason Kidd with the beard. Jason Kidd, huh? Really? Used to kiss the free throw. Phil Smith, Adrian Bailey, Manny Troncoso. Morning, Matt. Herdo and Miles are writing a book. You two can win an Addy Coaching for Dummies. Let's see. Brian, Matt, my birthday is Tuesday. I'll be young 27. Expecting a big present on me. Early happy birthday, Brian, 27. Shoot, man. Was this Benjamin Button going on here, dog? Kenneth Martin, morning, Matt, with you. With what you just said about Woodward firing O at the end of the season, how do you think conversations are going with Scott and recruits' parents? Because you know he is calling them. I actually don't think the athletic director is calling recruits' parents. And by the way, I did not say that Woodward is firing O at the end of the season. I believe Ed Orgeron already knows that he is not going to be back next season. The most complicating part of all of this is Ed's buyout, which they have the money raised. I know that for a fact. They have the money, and I think one of the sticking points between Scott and Tate is, do you want to just pay him the buyout and move on to be clean and quick? Or do you want to try to negotiate something less and potentially create a stink and stick to your guns, but firing for cause and all that sort of stuff? And I think the two of them are on different sides. Remember, one is very proven and skilled and tactful, and the other is new. That should tell you where they align right now. Casey Smith. So just to be clear, O won't be back next year. Ed Orgeron will not be back as the LSU head coach in 2022, no matter what happens today or the remainder of the season. So cheer for your team and don't worry about if it means anything for Coach O. Christian, is it possible LSU could hire a new coach during the season? Keep it quiet. I think that'd be very, very difficult to impossible, especially because the person that you're likely to hire is likely currently coaching. And let's say hypothetically it is James Franklin. Hypothetically, if it's James Franklin and he's at Penn State and Penn State makes it into the New Year's Six, I mean, you're talking about January. It's past the December signing period. You know, very difficult. Ryan Dixon, J-Boy mentioned there's a strong op for LSU to land Kiffin and Odom. This seems like a Sexton smoke and mirror play to protect Woodward in the search. Ryan, I like Jake a lot. Lane Kiffin is not going to be LSU's head coach. Okay? Like, if Jake is hearing that now, Jake is about a month behind. I have no doubt that Jimmy Sexton would love to get, and by the way, Lane Kiffin, I know for a fact, wants the LSU job very badly. Jake might have gotten that from Lane, but he might have said, "Hey man, listen, I'll get Barry Odom, we'll come together." It ain't happening. It's just not happening. Donovan Thibodeau, I'm late, but the like button's already smashed. Thank you, Donovan. Don, clue out score prediction. A lot to not enough. 30, 35, 31-20. But 31-17. Is this going to be another drawn-out baseball hire? No, remember, Merrick, that wasn't going to be drawn out either. I mean, they had I've told you all this. They had Kevin O'Sullivan done, agreed, verbal, it was over, and then they found some stuff in a background check on him. They pumped the brakes, he pulled out, and then they kind of had to scramble. Not scramble, but then they had to start over. Austin Murphy, what's up? Michael Mills, is it okay that I want Bill O'Brien over the other names? Yeah, that's fine. I think everybody's entitled to whatever opinion they want. It's just that the people making the decision aren't going to listen to you or me or anybody. Scott Fields, because of history being ready to take over as an interim, if you look at all his hires, he doesn't like having people on staff who seem more football intelligent. All football savvy coaches leave. I guess you're talking about Ed, and I would agree with that. Ed is insecure and wants to feel like the smartest person, even though he's not. And or especially because he's not. That's a big part of it. Franklin is the anti-O, almost always. What a step up in class as a representative of LSU. I agree with you, Joe. I think James Franklin would do spectacular here. LSU, Eddie, Cody Boudreaux, I love Turtles. Add 2 and 2, and that's my real age. 4? Add 2, the 2. Oh, 40. Got it. I didn't think you were really 27, bro. Is Luke Fickell on the short list? I'm told Luke Fickell's not interested in the job. Fickell's wants, so he'd hold out for Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, like Midwest job. And also remember, Cincinnati's going to be in the Big 12 soon. So he technically has what will be soon a Power 5 job. Do you think LSU, James Franklin would leave Penn State for LSU? I don't know that it's a slam dunk, Merrick. I think Penn State would throw a bag of cash at James Franklin to keep him. And also understand that that SC is interested in James Franklin. One thing you may not know, though, is James Franklin is big on the Gulf Coast, man. He's got he's got a condo at 38. That's where he spent quarantine, was down in 38. So Baton Rouge pretty close to Destin. LA, not so close to Destin. Do you think Pete's leaves, Walker Howard stays on board? Yeah, Walker Howard has nothing to do with Jake Pete's. Zero. Robbie White, Matt, I sent a heartfelt message to the text number, no reply. I can go check it out, Robbie. I mean, I checked the text message. It depends what time you sent it. Sometimes there's just like an avalanche of texts, but when did you send it? Send it again. Just copy it, like, and resend it. Like, copy, paste, resend. So, bump it. Who is the OC if James Franklin comes? Don't know. We need Jerry Sullivan. Y'all are crazy. Hunter Picard, Kerry Hughes. I know, it ain't happening, but Freeze beats Ole Miss and ULL. Does Woodward think about it? Nope. And I would love to have Hugh Freeze in the mix, Kerry. It's just not gonna happen, man. Rollo McDonough, Mr. Franklin stays as far away from here as possible, especially if you have children. I don't know what that means. Brian Jones, Bill O'Brien destroyed an NFL franchise. What would we want him here? I think Bill O'Brien is a very good offensive coach. He's coached under both Saban and Belichick, and as a head coach at Penn State was really good. I think as a coach in Houston, he was really good. As a GM, he was a disaster. So you're not being a GM, you're being a college head coach, and I think he could do really well. Jeff Owens, we can cheer for Game Coin. Casey Smith, do you happen to know the estimated date when Game Coin will be on Bitmart? I would tell you the absolute drop-dead latest date would be October the 28th. Absolute drop-dead latest date, October 28th. Ivy Abear, good. I think it'll be before then. Good morning. I get why LSU fans are pissed, but why is Clemson getting past? Great question. Maybe because new quarterback, yada yada. They haven't had a disastrous fall. You put together back-to-back seasons like this, then you start to go, hey now. But it hasn't been that. This is just the first season where they've had that. So anyway, I trust Scott 1,000%. He put LSU in the best position to succeed. We're in the dark now, but light will be so bright. Franklin can win at Vandy. Imagine we could do it at LSU. I agree. If we don't get Franklin, who's next on board? I think that's when you start hearing about Bill O'Brien, maybe. And Mel Tucker is a name that I was told this week as well. Tim Benson said, what about Chadwell? So he's talking about Jamie Chadwell. So I think on an extended list, Chadwell is on it. But I think that's one of those situations, Tim, where almost like a Jay Johnson situation, right? Where when you have your list and you keep coming up snake eyes, what's the palatable name the further down the list you get? Like in baseball, it was a guy who'd been a head coach, been to a championship series, been to Omaha twice, was a grinder. That may be, Chadwell may be that version. So could the search get that low? Maybe. But he's probably like 8th on the list. But if it gets number 8, let's see. Codename that dude Matt. Tom Herman's still an option. I'd take him in a heartbeat. Great offensive coach, really good recruiter. Deserved a better option than he got at the end at Texas. In the NFL right now with the Bears, I mean, I'd hire him in a heartbeat. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Which wide receiver steps up to replace Kayshon Boutte today? Malik Neighbors. I think he's going to be that guy. Mel Tucker's making 5.5 at State. Why would he leave? Look, he'd been at Georgia. He's got SEC roots. Have a chance to win a national championship at LSU, that's the reason why, when you say, why would somebody take the LSU job, whoever it is, it's because the last 3 coaches at LSU have all won national championships. They've won 3, played for 4 since 2003. The only school that's done that is Bama, and LSU's done it with 3 different coaches. And remember, even when they won it with Nick wasn't Nick yet. He was the guy who was young, in his early 40s, resurrecting LSU. And then Les and Ed, I mean, that's why. That's why. You have incredible resources. You're in the SEC. You can win championships. You're going to make a lot of money. Like that. That's why. You're not winning a national championship at Michigan State ever. Blake, I don't understand why Woodward would publicly fire Ed but let him keep coaching. Wouldn't that allow Ed to continue to destroy the program? So, Blake, I think that's part of that whole settlement, right? Like, I think you say, listen, we're going to announce it now, but you can finish the season. Your buyout is this, and we'll give it to you if you play nice, keep it on the rails, yada 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 yada. Because none of us want bad PR stuff, etc. I think those are all the details that have to be worked out, and that's where I think, and my understanding is Ed was willing to accept the settlement, and which is very favorable to Ed. The dollar amount is what I was told, but because he's owed 17, I think he was going to get all of it. But I think Tate has intervened. So see, it's going to be an interesting 24 hours. It's going to be very interesting because you do have a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a power struggle. I think that's probably the wrong way to phrase it. But I think you have multiple cooks in the kitchen who are trying to make decisions. Stefan, why don't we believe we have a competent interim, but can it be any worse than Edo? I agree with you, Stefan. Nick Maurer, do you think the large part of O's downfall was the coaching hires? I think that's primarily it, because he's not, and it's never been. I mean, as much as some want to keep crediting him for 2019, I'll remind you that all of the successful coaches on staff were hired by somebody else. And you can throw out Joe Brady, and I'll continue to remind you that Joe Brady did not call the plays in 2019, despite whatever protests some people have. Steve Ensminger was the play caller in 2019. Look no further than what's happening right now with Jake Peetz. Jake Peetz can run the Joe Brady offense, right? The Joe Brady offense, look how it's going on game days. That season was more about Joe Burrow than anybody else. Sean White, Jeremy Wiley. Heard a tidbit, no one is rushing to the opening of the USC job because they're waiting on the situation with O and LSU. I don't think they're going to be fishing in the same pond except for James Franklin. Tim Casalot. Morning, Matt. Yesterday at work, we discussed possible LSU candidates. Someone mentioned Coastal Carolina's head coach. So Jamie Chadwell just mentioned that. And he's like, he would be like the 8th guy on the list, but is on the list as a, well, if you get down that far on the list sort of thing. So being that he's one of us, he talks like us, he loves LSU, and it's his dream job, shouldn't we give the man a chance to turn this around? Is the main reason they're turned off Lane the off-the-field issues or other things? Yes. I think this is going to be this is going to be a squeaky clean hire. Kevin Forshag, stop with you, freeze. No way Greg Sankey and the SEC let him back in. So Kevin, remember this, that's not their decision. His show cause is up, so anyone can hire him. The league office can try to dissuade someone from hiring, but every institution has its own autonomy to hire whoever they want. So Sankey doesn't get to say who gets hired. Rusty Sedatal, why not Kirby Smart? So like that's a tough pull. Like, how do you get Kirby away from his alma mater where he's competing for championships? He's building what he's building. Is PJ Fleck not in the conversation? I don't think PJ Fleck was ever in the conversation. Michael Kleber, what's up? Brad Jones. Saw you received a bottle of 15-year Calumet on AFR. Have you tried it? I did. Have a bottle sitting in my cabinet waiting on my retirement. There you go, man. Yeah, Brad, we did pop it open yesterday, man. Really enjoyed it. 105 proof. Fantastic smooth finish. Very palatable. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Very, very good. Clifford Moore, good morning. Andrew Brister, does Franklin have any off-field issues like Coach O did pre-hire? The one thing people will bring up is that there was a rape case at Vanderbilt involving several players. That went to trial, and what did Franklin know or not know, I think, is something that would have to be sort of exhumed. Imagine Urban Meyer resurfacing in the SEC for an LSU revival. I don't think so, Sean, because of the off-the-field stuff. Brandon Goche, if it gets number 8, why not Kiffin? I'm with you, Brandon. I would like it, but again, I think it's going to be a squeaky clean hire. Timothy Langlois, what are the criteria for the new LSU coach? I mean, you've seen what Woodward does. He swings for the fences. The tricky part here is what does Tate want? Jared Miller, have vote for Gruden. Trell Hatch, I feel it's it's crazy. We are 40 minutes away from kickoff with LSU and Florida, and nobody's talking about LSU and Florida. Redhead guy for head coach. Greg Daigle, multiple cooks in the kitchen, typical LSU. It's why I don't trust this to be a home run hire. Hope I'm wrong. Tony Williams, what's up? Dustin Cruel, where's Tom Herman? Could he be an OC candidate? Herman is working for the Chicago Bears. Peter Smith, make Lincoln Riley say no. I mean, you can make that call, but I think if Lincoln Riley leaves OU, it's going to be for the NFL. Anthony Mitchell, I honestly don't believe LSU is an attraction for top shelf coaches anymore. That's how we ended up with O. No, Anthony, that's completely dead wrong. The reason you ended up with O is because you had the worst athletic director in the history of the world who didn't even conduct a search and hastily rushed the defensive line coach to the podium to beat Tom Herman in Texas. That's why you ended up with Ed Orgeron, not because quality candidates didn't want the job. When you're willing to pay $8 million a year, you have the facilities LSU has, when you've won 3 titles since 2003, played for a 4th, there are a lot of people who desperately want this job. Among them is Lane Kiffin, who I know desperately wants the job, but I don't think he's going to get it. I see the OC, or is it all up to Nagy? He's not the OC. He's you're talking about Herman with the Bears. He's like an offensive assistant with the Bears. Anthony Mitchell, I also don't think there's anyone available who's much better than O. Anthony, if you don't think there's anyone available that's much better than O, then you don't think anyone is available, period, because I would say literally any coach would be better than O because he's a disaster. Let's see. Kelly Gross. Jeremy Wiley, hate to be Mississippi State tonight. All right, y'all, I got to get going. Game starts in 38 minutes. All right. Look at Vincenzo Clemente. Matt, following you from Palermo, Italy. Never thought I'd see you the day. I hope my Tigers lose. No, we want them to win, Vincenzo. We always want them to win. Cheer for your team, man. Cheer for your team. We want LSU to win always. Like, you should never cheer for your team to lose. Like, that is not an agreeable end. The better end would be they win every game forever moving forward. So cheer for your team. And understand that the reality that's going to happen is going to happen. All right, y'all, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Go Tigers. Whiskey and wine, me and T-Bob. As soon as the game ends, T-Bob and I will be live from Don Juan Cigar Bar. Y'all come hang out at Don Juan with us. If not, watch us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube or Facebook page. Brock Rock and Wine, Saturday, October the 30th, a couple of Saturdays from now, 2 weeks from today. Brock Rock and Wine at the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, benefiting the Brock Foundation. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Go Tigers. We'll see you. Peace.